What is up, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are checking out the band Evergrey and the album The Atlantic. The Atlantic is Evergrey's 11th studio record. It was released on 25 January of 2019, and it has received high praise, been very critically acclaimed from listeners, fans, and reviewers alike. I am really looking forward to this. The only track that I have heard off the record is the opening single, A Silent Arc. I am a longtime Evergrey fan. I've been a fan ever since I heard Recreation Day in 2003. And they're an absolutely incredible band that people are finally starting to take notice of 24 years later. They were formed in 1995 with their first record, The Dark Discovery, coming out in 1998. Now, this is the third part of a series of concept records from the band. The first being 2014's Hymns of the Broken, which was based on the element fire. So a lot of themes and the concept around that record was war and change. The second part in the concept, A Storm Within, was released in 2016, and that was based off of the air theme and was more fitting of that. The third record we have, The Atlantic, is certainly based off of water and was written with a lot of that in mind. And there's some really cool, interesting facts or tidbits about the record. It was recorded mainly analog. They wanted that analog sound. It was helmed by Jacob Hansen, who did the mixing and mastering, who's also handled the last two records. Recorded in drop C tuning, which Evergrey is famous for, the last several records. And the majority of the record was recorded live as a band. Another really cool thing with the interview talk with Henrik Dan Haag, their lead guitar player, though both guitar players do solo, is that he did not really write his solos. He went in with some initial ideas and just came up with his solos in the studio on the fly while playing along to the tracks. So we get a chance to hear his solos, and ones that I know that I can hear off the bat are his. I will point out, you're getting very much that emotional connection of him just feeling the solo process. From what I understand, the tracking happened very, very quickly when they finally started getting the ball rolling. It did not take the band very long to record it because they were so into the record. For longtime Evergrey fans, this is also the first record that will not feature Tom England's longtime wife, Karina England, on vocals, as unfortunately they have parted ways and are no longer a couple. So you'll probably get some of that in the lyrical content, that emotion and tumult, and I'm sure that will play out. All that said, a little bit of background for you, some little things to take away while you listen to the record. This is The Atlantic. Have the lyrics up for each track. I will link the lyrics in the description below so you can really sit down and focus on it and read them yourself and just take in the record as it's in the most purest way you can. And another note, this record is being played straight off the hard drive because without hearing it, being a massive Evergrey fan, I've already purchased the record. It was pre-ordered and it's just been waiting. It's one of the records I have been anticipating the most. This, along with the latest Coheed and Cambria record and the newest Soilwork record. So, those two are coming up shortly as well. Coheed will be sometime in the next couple of days if you're watching this. If you're watching this right around the 8th to the 10th of February. So, let's get into it, shall we? The band is Evergrey. The album is The Atlantic. The very first track is A Silent Arc. And here we go. This is the only track that I've heard. That sonar ping sound effect there. With that incredibly heavy, riffing, very precise and chaotic drum work coming in here. Guitar tones are incredibly thick. Great fills by their drummer Jonas here, or Jonas. That trademark riffing certainly on display here. That keyboard melody is haunting and incredibly dark. Really helps punctuate the pain in Tom England's voice. Chills are just running up and down my body already. I've heard this track several times and I connect with it each and every single moment. Those leads are so, the accent leads are so powerful. So many emotions coming out of this. Those beautiful keyboard melodies. Once again, we're shifted back into this aggressive, driving, heavy riff work. Phenomenal bass work by their bass player, Johan Niemann, who's been there since 2010. Really incredibly well-written lyrics. Would have never thought about adding Empyrean like that. Really phenomenal vocal layering here in the chorus. The darkness combined with the hope and the longing is something special. Really beautiful melodic harmonies here. Emotionally, I'm all sorts of a mess here. My heart's in my chest. Really subtle, almost bluesy leads. Beautiful bit of reverb, a little bit delay on there. such a phenomenal change here. That subtle tapping. Tom does a great job with the effect on his voice and the spoken word here. Really beautiful and strong bass work back there, really helping carry this rhythm section. You can almost feel the pain of him talking about the dissolution of his marriage. This lead here is clearly Henrik Van Haag. His fingerprints are all over it. The way he bends, the tone in his hands, the vibrato, the way he phrases. So much incredible emotion. That lead doubling really hits you. And there's that phenomenal tremolo usage. Ah, such an incredibly gorgeous solo. A little bit of falsetto there in the vocals adds just a different touch. Wow. Vocal melody and the way they took it is so gorgeous. It's amazing to hear Tom really stretch his voice out there. That accent guitar was placed just perfectly. And I hate using that word, but I couldn't imagine any better. That vocal run there to close that out, to close out that passage is something. That's the opening track on the record, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 9 more to go. The next track is Weightless. This is going to be a ride, I can already tell. These riffs here are certainly heavier. Oh, wow. That's really evolving. Some really fantastic textures there. The keyboard textures. This riff is textbook Evergrey. It's moving, it's heavy, it's got a big groove and a chunk to it. Love how audible that bass is. It really drives. This is incredibly catchy. Really cool vocal melody as well. Really like those accent guitar lines there. Another big shift. Really interesting vocal effects that actually work quite well. This chorus is incredibly catchy. Simple, easygoing drum cadence with that big driving riff really works here. Those little Evergrey twists. It's such a change to be into this verse. Really get the pain and the conviction in his voice. Whoa. The dropout so unexpectedly was jarring but beautiful. I love how catchy this is compared to his Silent Art. This is so catchy, it almost reminds me in some ways of a Coheed tune. Love that conversational delivery in that chorus. I love the change. The really rich, deep tones from these guitar lines. The keys are always such a big part of Evergrey's sound, and they're really doing a phenomenal job of creating melodies and moods here. The clarity in that bass tone, you really hear the attack on those strings. That percussion really works together with Jonas's drum work. The riff is so evolving so seamlessly. Another Henrik solo. Those little twists that they throw into riffs are so special. Like the backing vocals there. Great vocal layering there. Absolutely in love with the vocals here. Those key melodies over top of that heavier riffing are so well placed and so well done. Whew, that was Weightless. The next track is All I Have. These opening tones. Wow. Love that effect there. That reverb. Those toms are coming in. Wow, this is heavy, it's plodding. Just know you're gonna get hit. Oh. Dark, choking riffs, they're just such quintessential of the band. This clear vocal delivery over top of it's something. Man. You get that keyboard going over top of it, just teasing that different emotion there. Wow. What a chorus. So simple. It works so effectively. The addition of that guitar harmony, just the right call. I'm in awe. Such a great job with that palm muting in the first part of the riff and letting it ring. Really beautiful, well-executed fill. And this chorus is so simple, but it is so powerful and so moving. The vocal melodies are beautiful. Wow. Like the darkness, the anger put at the back of that. This is a tom solo. If it is a Hendrix solo, it's very different from what I'm used to. No, it's a Hendrix solo. Wow. Massive, drawn out notes, big vibrato. Yeah, I changed that. I believe that is a Hendrix solo. Got his trademark tremolo usage. The solos on this record are incredible. Some of the most emotive solos I have heard from this band in a long time, and that's saying something. Brought that other riff in. Another solo line right here. Love the way he takes his solos. So much feeling. Really like the doubling on those leads as well. Layering is done very well. Whew, man. Wow. That was all I have. That was track 3, ladies and gentlemen. The next track is the Secret Atlantis. Wow. Those faint keyboards, riffs slowly fading in. Attack by the drums, which are mixed crystal clear. Really do love, just even with how heavy these riffs are, you can really make out the bass. That's something other bands need to take note of. Wow, this is heavy, really strong, aggressive, dry tones, that string attack. Love those tom passages there. Those keyboards add a sense of melody to just the heaviness and anger of this. Wow. It almost reminds me of something I might hear off of Monday Morning Apocalypse. Big change here. And there the melody comes in. They are just slinging emotions at you. I like that harmony there. The vocal he's using here is something I'm not used to, and I absolutely love it. Just love how they add those accents there. Those beautiful melodic harmony lines. adds just enough to break up the onslaught. It just seems like they know exactly where to palm mute and where to let a chord ring for a second. Love the fact that Ricard gets the solo there with the keys. That's awesome. Really good effects there with the vocals, clearly Tom. This riffing here is certainly reminiscent of stuff you heard on Hymns for the Broken. Love how furious that lead was. Different layers of vocals, the high and the lows really marry very well together. Now, that track is over 5 minutes long, and it doesn't feel like a 5.5 minute track. Whew, that was a Secret Atlantis. The next track is The Tidal. It's an instrumental. Clearly using this as a bridge. Wow. I like how it backs you down a little bit, makes you feel some different emotions, gives me a chance to breathe. Different sound effects are very well done. Gives me a chance to look at that artwork on the cover art and just realize how incredibly stunning it is. Absolutely fantastic cover art. Really enjoyed that. It was very pleasant. It was really a welcome break. Back into the big, palm muted, chugging beast of riffs. The seasons are a familiar lyrical theme that Tom likes to use. Wow. Man, got me tearing up. There's so much emotion already in this record. Wow. Whoa! That is an amazing riff. Simple, but something about the way it sounds. Love the keyboard melody they're adding on top of it. Chills down my spine. Vocals get so much emotion, pain in it. Such incredibly powerful lyrics. Really love that keyboard usage there. Really love how their riffs evolve so seamlessly and so almost, they make it sound effortless. I like the tones they're using for that keyboard passage there, which could be a guitar line. It's a really enjoyable driving groove there. Really strong bass run as well. Love the way they start dropping those triplets in there. Did a great job of coming back, using that to bring it back into the chorus. Polyrhythm is so awesome. Wow. End of Silence. Another utterly amazing track. The next track is called Currents. Just come swinging out the gate once again. Really get a chance to hear those subtle ways they like to riff.
I watch the water rise. I turn my head and close my eyes.
Really hear that big attack on the strings there on the bass. When I hear conversational lyrics like this after becoming such an Evergrey Coheed fan, the comparisons between the two really come. Hear the similarities. Wow. That kick driving there, the way they're using it, everything has a really massive impact. Love the way they changed this chorus, or this verse, I'm sorry. Built this so well, it was so seamless. Like the effect there on the vocals. Another seamless evolution of these riffs. keyboard line harkens back to something I might expect on the Inner Circle record. Wow, what a great to call back to these earlier eras. That's a Tom solo. Great shift into that melodic, back into their lead. Wow. That was awesome. The addition of both guitars, the keyboards. Wow. Whole passage and everything about it, it's just so fitting. Really like the way they're finishing that out with melodic lead work. And that is absolutely Henrik there. It's almost like, it almost has that feeling like whales crying. Great tremolo work. Love the keyboard accents. And I love how it's just those keyboard textures and the guitar work. And I love that he plays it low. He really utilizes that. Those deeper, lower tones on the fretboard just really always tug at me when I hear him in leads. I've always loved Henrik's playing, and that's a big reason why. Wow. That was track 7. That was Currents. We've got 3 more to go, ladies and gentlemen. The next track is Departure. Love how the bass is straight up, right up forward, really present. Love the keys there. Definitely hear that he's using the pick with that big amount of attack, that he's getting a little slightly tinnier sound in the strings.
The tide made it easier, and time made us reasonable. The currents no longer deceive us.
Love the callbacks to the previous tracks and lyrics as well, and they've done that throughout their career. Love the use of acoustics there, dropping that down.
We were the reasons for the years we had, and we were the reasons why it ended at last. The struggling, the reaching, the searching for feelings that weren't there, no longer from splendor to nothing.
Love that almost semi-jazzy feeling there. Really working with the vocal cadence. Absolutely adore the choice for an acoustic solo here. Or an acoustic lead accent. Almost Tears for Fears issue away. Wow. That shift into the vibrato, into the falsetto. Gorgeous vocal melody. Like how he's changed the way he's delivering his vocals up just a little bit to punctuate it.
My heartbeat echoes slowly, and the emptiness the same. It's not about the breaking, but the rising with a name. The rising with a name.
So pretty. The warmth of it. Again, you get that emotion of hope and longing in an Evergrey tune.
Reasons to not stand my ground. Too many reasons to not carry on this blind. Too many seasons we were held on tight. And too many reasons to not leave this
Like how he changed the lyrics to this chorus here. It's a really beautiful way to layer those vocals. Wow. Riff really works so well with the accompanying keyboard textures. Really love that fill and a little bit of double bass play there. What a way to finally come out with a big Henrik Don Hog solo. So much feeling in that. Not overly flashy, lots of big notes, big bends. Like the wave sound effect there. Wow. That was Departure. The next track is The Beacon. Man. Seagulls Sound effects are really well done. Bigger keyboard notes. You're getting some of that hope again.
I can create the proper conditions. In a sense, when I have this quality, I'm all in one piece. I would like to have a transparency, nothing hidden.
Love the vocal samples here.
That I don't feel.
That's a really cool keyboard texture, synth texture. Love that big crash work there.
Starlit sky offered bearing. My
I like how that keyboard or synth piece is shifting. It's almost like it's being a flanger usage, but it's not. Really works with these big chugs. Some fantastic vocal layering. Choices to have those big bass swells there like the ocean are fantastic. I like how that keyboard melody's coming in. It's a really cool riff, and it's shifted so easily once again. Tom solo. There's Henrik. Love the changes in the riff work to really make these solos work so well. Love how he uses those big whammy bar work to come out of some of his licks and come out of some of his solos. It works so well. I must find the beacon before the dearth of light becomes my blood. I must leave the forsaken from the shadows of dusk into the light. Absolute poetry by Mr. Tom England there. Man. Ladies and gentlemen, much as I hate to say this, that was the beacon of the last track on the Atlantic is This Ocean. Thank you, Evergrey. Finishing this with a big, heavy riff to come straight into it. Wow. I should have expected these big, aggressive chugs, but for some reason I didn't. Do such a great job of using those haunting key melodies to add those different emotions on top of these driving riffs. That is a massive vocal melody. Like the keyboard harmony and that riff, and it just drives so seamlessly back into this verse. Wow. I'm really incredibly loving these key textures. I don't even know how to put it into words. The different keyboard melodies that keep changing and giving you those little things just for a second. Love how they let that vocal ring out, put some effects on it. That tremolo usage to really get those effects and sounds. Big bends. Those big, low, like vibrato like holds they're doing. One of the things that I fell in love with Evergrey. Henrik really letting his chops go here. A lot of that tapping. Wow, didn't expect the aggressive scream there. Love how that double bass picked up. It's roaring across the track. So heavy, and there's so much emotion and weight there. It's crushing and suffocating like you're drowning. And it just stops. Of course, it automatically auto-plays into the unplugged version of Wrong. That's the next thing on my iTunes. I love how it just ended so abruptly. It just crushes and suffocates you at the end, just like would happen if you were sucked under a wave and drowning. And then it stops, just jarring and abrupt. Bam, done. That's it. Almost like your life force is being extinguished. That was the entirety of the Atlantic, ladies and gentlemen. That is the very first time I've had a chance to listen to it. I am shaking. I mean, truly, I'm shaking. I really am. The last lyrics there, I've cried this ocean. There's so many different ways to take it. There's so much symbolism there. Wow. An incredibly diverse record. Incredibly dark record. Very heavy, yet filled with so much nuance and melody and tons of different textures, tons of different emotions. And it's an absolute masterstroke, in my opinion. This is one listen of many to come. I can truly understand why the little bit that I've seen, honestly, just been Evergrey posting it. The reviews have been so good, and it's been so well received, and it's been topping iTunes. It actually placed on Billboard here in the US and abroad. And I can completely understand why. It's an absolute masterstroke of a record. It's so filled with emotion. You can really understand that it is about a parting of ways, a breakup, that finality to it, that desire to move on. There's so much self-realization. The lyrical context of a journey across the ocean, it's brilliant. It's very, very well done. The theme is dead on from the start. Carries through. There's a couple of really fantastic callbacks throughout these lyrics, which I think a lot of Coheed fans will appreciate. And it's stuff that Evergrey has been doing with their records for a long time, but you can hear some of the influences of some of the earlier records, some things that I almost thought they'd abandoned, that are coming back into their style. In some ways, to make a VK reference here, it's kind of like listening to Ninth by the Gazette or listening to Insulated by Darren Gray, where you get some of those harkening back to other styles, or to things that they'd done, those tendencies that they'd used before that we hadn't heard in a while. It's very refreshing and very amazing to hear some of that. Yet, at the same time, it is a modern Evergrey record for all intents and purposes. You still have those dark, progressive elements that people became so in love with in the earlier records, Dark Discovery, Solitude, Dominance, Tragedy, In Search of Truth. It really marked that change with Recreation Day was fantastic, but Inner Circle really started shifting them down that path, and it feels like a culmination of it with this record. You hear some of the elements that you heard on Hymns for the Broken and Storm Within, and it really is just a culmination of who this band is, how comfortable they've become in their own skin, how comfortable they've become together as a band, and just how well they're able to write together. The fact that this was done, from what I read in an interview, other than one track that they weren't going to reveal, was really done as a band, recorded live. And so few bands do that these days. Rarely do bands just record live. It's all tracked, instrument by instrument. The fact that they're doing it live together and really performing that way is incredible. I do not have a single complaint with the mix. Not a single bit. I love everything about it. I love the little imperfections, and there are some there. There's some little flaws, and I like the fact that it's not perfect. I like those analog textures. I think they're incredible. I'm so happy that they went that way. Tom and Jonas, the drummer, and all the guys really are, other than Henrik, who he still is kind of a music geek, but I don't think he's a music geek as much as Tom and Jonas are. Really love this stuff. And the lyrics they're powerful, and there's a lot of personal meaning to Tom, but they're ambiguous enough that you can find your own meaning in them. And I think that has resonated with people with Evergrey for a long time. It certainly has resonated with me. And it's there in this record. There's so many different ways and meanings to find, and ways to attach it to your personal feelings to make this connect. I'm blown away the record felt as fast as it did, even though a lot of those tracks are longer. Walking down here, the first track is Silent Arc, is 7 minutes and 47 seconds. The Weightless and All I Have are in the 6+ minute range. Secret Atlantis is in the 5.5 minute range. Other than the instrumental, the Tidal, there are only 2 tracks that do not crest the 5 minute mark, and that's Into Silence and This Ocean. So they've done an incredible job of keeping the listener engaged and feeling something throughout the entirety of a record. And I'm utterly in love with it after a single listen. But to be quite honest, I had a feeling I would be. And it's interesting with my personal musical journey here on the channel the past year plus that I can feel some of the and find some of the similarities in between bands like Coheed and even some of the J-Rock stuff, some of the stuff like the emotion that I now find in Duran Gray that I probably wouldn't have found if I wasn't such an Evergrey fan. Now, I'm relieved. At the same time, there's this massive weight lifted off my shoulders because as much of a fan as I am, I'm also a music critic. And I have to be honest about what I'm hearing, regardless of how much personal attachment there is. So, going into an Evergrey record, giving it a first listen on the channel, sharing it with you, was a little daunting, to be quite honest, because there's always that question of, what if I don't like it? Do I really want to share that shock with people? But I have to be honest. Thankfully, and if I didn't like it, I would have been honest, and I would have been brutally honest about it. Thankfully, I don't have to slag the band, and I don't have to be negative because I can't. Because there's no reason to. It's an utterly amazing record. I can't pick out tracks that I love individually right now with one listen. I can tell you that A Silent Arc, which I have listened to several times, is probably one of my favorite Evergrey tracks written in the past 10 years. I think it's utterly amazing, and it's just, every time I hear it, I get chills, and I get lost into it, and I can see why the band loves it so much. and they think of it so highly. There's just so much going on. Currents is definitely one that immediately stands out. It's really, really, really powerful. There's so many incredible lyrics. The choruses, some of these spoken words, some of the acoustic passages. The fact that the acoustic passages were so few and far between, they had so much impact when they happened. Riffing was incredible. The solos were really well executed, both by Tom and by Henrik. Loved hearing some of the key solos, like that Ricard got involved a bit there. And it's been an amazing journey on this record. Henrik and Jonas, the drummer and lead guitar player respectively, had left the band for a record, and they came back for the Hymns for the Broken record, and I am so glad that happened. They clearly needed a break. And since they've been back, I truly feel that they have released 3 of the best records that they've done as a band. And while I love Storm Within, I do feel that Hymns for the Broken and the Atlantic are better. But that's not to say that the Storm Within is a bad record, because it's incredible. But I think I saw a post on YouTube on a scale from 1 to Hymns for the Broken. How was the Atlantic, when they were asking Metalwani about it? He said he had a reviewer's copy, and I highly agree. Until I heard this. It's going to take more listens for me to be definitive about it, but this is absolutely going to make my year-end list. It's going to be really hard to knock off out of that 1, 2, or 3 spot. It's going to be something special. If it would have came out in 2018, it certainly would have forced its way into one of the top 3 spots. I still haven't done a 2018 list because I haven't listened to everything I need to from 2018, to include Vaxxus by Coheed. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm overwhelmed. I'm highly emotional. And it's an absolutely incredible first listen to a record that I do not regret buying without hearing it. It's up on Spotify. Please go check it out. Links to their social media will be in the description below. Please give them some love. I hope that fans out there in subscriber land that have not a chance to hear this record have enjoyed it and understand why I love them so much, and why so many Evergrey fans love them so much. And believe me, I'm more than happy to give recommendations to other records and to help you along in your journey. It's one of those bands that, just like some of your favorites, we want to share because of stuff like this. And an utterly massive thank you to the band for releasing such an utterly incredible record for us fans to listen to and to have as part of our lives. I can't thank you enough. As a fan and as a critic, you've made my life and job so easy. Utterly fantastic. I'll never rate anything a 10, but I'd easily give this a 9 on the first listen. It's just, it might change, it might get a little lower the more I dive into it, but it's lightning in a bottle. It's something incredibly special. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. It was hard not to listen to this for 2 weeks. Anyway, I love you. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you to my law enforcement, military, veterans, and first responders for what you do every single day. As always, you have been awesome. I have been Baldman. I will see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other. Keep headbanging.